The old apartment building breathed secrets through its walls. Every creak, every hiss of the radiator was a whispered warning, but it was the flickering light in the hallway that truly chilled Lily to the bone. It wasn't just faulty wiring, it was a presence, a sentinel standing guard at the edge of something unknowable. It started with Teddy, the neighbor. He was always kind, always smiling. But one day, Lily saw something else in the doorway of his apartment, a darkness that clung to him like a shroud. "He's sleeping," she'd whispered, her voice barely audible, even as Teddy waved and called her name. Teddy died not long after. A sudden heart attack, they said, but Lily knew better. She had seen the thing that had taken him, a silent, creeping presence that fed on the warmth of the living. It lurked in doorways, in the spaces between breaths, waiting. The funeral home reeked of lilies and formaldehyde, a grotesque parody of life. Lily approached the casket, her small hands clutching the worn blanket. "He's sleeping," she said, her voice echoing in the cavernous room. "He's really cold." The call came that night. A silent intrusion into the oppressive quiet of the apartment. No number, no voice, just a vast, empty space, punctuated by the flat tone of a dial. Lily knew what it was. It was the thing, reaching out, testing its boundaries. Then came her grandmother, sick, frail, fading like an old photograph. Lily refused to enter her room, her eyes fixed on the doorway, the blue blanket clutched tight. "We have to let her sleep," she whispered, her voice filled with a dread that chilled the room. Her mother's call brought the silence again, a heavy, suffocating weight that crushed the air from Lily's lungs. The thing was growing stronger, its appetite insatiable. It was drawn to Lily, to her ability to see it, to feel its presence. People called her sensitive, said she had an overactive imagination. But Lily knew the truth. The thing was real, and it was always watching, always waiting for the moment when she would let her guard down, when she would forget to hold her breath. Now, years later, she still felt it. The building still whispered its secrets, the light still flickered. And sometimes, when she passed a room, she would hesitate, her hand drifting to the corner of the blue blanket, listening for the other quiet, the one that lived in doorways. She knew, with a certainty that settled deep in her bones, that the thing was still there, lurking just beyond the veil, waiting for someone to forget, to open the door just a crack, to wake what could not wake. One night, a new family moved into Teddy's old apartment. Lily watched from her window, her heart pounding in her chest. A young couple, full of hope, oblivious to the darkness that lingered within those walls. She knew she should warn them, tell them about the thing in the doorway. But fear held her captive. What if they didn't believe her? What if the thing turned its attention to her? Days turned into weeks, and Lily watched as the young couple settled into their new home. They laughed, they cooked, they seemed happy. But Lily couldn't shake the feeling that they were living on borrowed time. One evening, Lily heard a child crying in the hallway, a small, whimpering sound that tugged at her heart. She opened her door hesitantly and saw a little girl standing in front of Teddy's old apartment. The little girl turned to Lily, her face streaked with tears.
Mommy says Daddy is sleeping,
she sobbed.
but he's not moving, and he's so cold.
Lily felt a chill run down her spine. The words, "He's sleeping," echoed in her mind, a chilling reminder of what had happened to Teddy, to her grandmother, to her mother. She knew what she had to do. She couldn't let the thing claim another victim. She had to find a way to stop it, to banish it back to the darkness from whence it came. Lily started researching old folklore, ancient rituals, anything that might offer a clue to the nature of the thing and how to defeat it. She spent hours in libraries, poring over dusty tomes, searching for answers. She discovered that the thing was a type of shadow creature, a being that fed on fear and despair. It could only manifest in places where there was a deep sense of loss or trauma. To defeat it, she would need to confront it directly, to face her own fears and anxieties. She would need to find a source of light, a beacon of hope that could drive the darkness away. Lily knew that the blue blanket was more than just a comfort object. It was a connection to her past, to the love and warmth that had been stolen from her. It was a source of strength. She decided to use the blanket as a focus, a way to channel her energy and confront the thing. She would stand in the doorway of Teddy's old apartment, the very place where it had first appeared, and she would fight. That night, as the moon cast long shadows across the hallway, Lily approached Teddy's old apartment. The air was heavy with dread, and the flickering light seemed to mock her. She took a deep breath, pushed open the door, and stepped inside. The apartment was cold and empty, but she could feel the thing's presence, a dark and malevolent energy that filled the room. She raised the blue blanket, holding it in front of her like a shield.
"I'm not afraid of you,"
she said, her voice trembling but firm.
You have no power here anymore.
The air grew colder, and a dark shape began to coalesce in the corner of the room. It was tall and gaunt, with eyes that burned like embers. The thing lunged at her, its claws outstretched, but Lily stood her ground. She closed her eyes, focusing on the warmth of the blanket, on the memories of love and laughter. A bright light erupted from the blanket, pushing back the darkness, forcing the thing to recoil. The light filled the room, chasing away the shadows, revealing the truth of the apartment. The thing screamed, a high-pitched, piercing sound that shattered the silence. It writhed and twisted, its form dissolving into nothingness. Finally, it was gone. The apartment was quiet, peaceful. The air was clean, free of the oppressive weight of fear. Lily walked back to her own apartment, the blue blanket clutched in her hand. The hallway light was still flickering, but it didn't seem so menacing anymore. She knew that the thing was gone, but she also knew that the darkness was always lurking, waiting for an opportunity to return. She would have to remain vigilant to protect herself and others from its insidious influence. But for now, she could rest. She could close her eyes and sleep, knowing that she had faced her fears and emerged victorious. And maybe, just maybe, she could finally silence the whispers in the hallways, the ones that told her to be gentle, to not wake what could not wake. The threshold was silent, the doorway empty. For now, at least, she was safe.